When I picked up the phone to ask my son Ethan when his wedding would be, my daughter-in-law Olivia looked me right in the eye and said with a chilling smile, "Oh, we already got married yesterday. We only invited special people." The words hit me like a bucket of ice water. Special people. Me, the woman who for 4 straight years had paid their monthly rent of $600, bought every stick of furniture in their apartment, stocked their fridge when it was empty, and covered every emergency that somehow always appeared right before payday. I stood frozen in the living room of my own house, the phone suddenly feeling like it weighed 1,000 pounds, while Ethan stared at the floor and Olivia made herself comfortable on the couch I had paid for. The pale blue dress I had bought for the wedding still hung in my closet, tags on, $250 I would never get back. I had picked it out thinking how nice I would look standing beside my only son in the photos. I had set aside $1,200 as a wedding gift. I had called my sister Linda in Seattle to share the excitement. I had scrubbed my house top to bottom, imagining they might stop by afterward. All of it vanished with 4 poisoned words. Only special people. Ethan finally mumbled, "Mom, it was super small, just us and the witnesses." But I already knew the truth. The photos were all over social media. Olivia's parents beaming beside the bride and groom, her siblings raising champagne glasses, Olivia in the white dress I had helped pay for with the $900 I gave her the month before for personal expenses. I saw every face I was never meant to see. A week later, exactly 7 days after the humiliation, Olivia called. Her voice had lost every trace of that confident tone. Now it shook. "Margaret, the rent is overdue again. The landlord says if we don't pay by Friday, he'll evict us. You forgot the transfer, right?" I let the silence stretch. I remembered every single time I had rushed to the bank, every plan I had canceled, every meal I had skipped so they could eat steak. And after they had deliberately cut me out of the biggest day of my son's life, they still expected me to fix their mess like nothing had happened. "Olivia," I said, calm as still water, "did I warn you that I only help special people?" The silence on her end was so complete I could hear my own heartbeat. For the first time in years, it wasn't me who was shaking. "Margaret, I don't understand," she stammered. "We've always been special to you. You're like a second mom to me." Lies, sweet, practiced lies she only used when the money tap was about to run dry. The same voice she had used when she asked for the wedding dress, the honeymoon deposit, the rings I helped finance without knowing I would never see them on their fingers. I had spent the last 4 years walking on eggshells, measuring every word, every gift, desperate for a scrap of affection from my own son. I had been the perfect mother, the convenient mother-in-law, the silent checkbook that never complained. But those 4 words, "only special people," woke something cold and final inside me. That night, I sat at my kitchen table with every bank statement from the past 4 years. I did the math I should have done long ago. Rent, $600 times 48 months equals $28,800. Groceries and household supplies, $250 a month equals $12,000. Gifts, emergencies, car repairs, furniture, Olivia's medical bills, the vacation they needed. Another $11,500. Total, $52,300. $52,300 taken from my late husband's life insurance, from my pension, from the savings I had scraped together for my own peace in old age. All of it gone so 2 grown adults could treat me like an ATM with a pulse. The next morning my phone lit up. Ethan, Olivia, Ethan again. I let every call ring out. Texts followed. "Mom, please pick up, we need to talk." I deleted them without reading. I went for a walk, not to the bank, not to the supermarket for them, just for me. I passed the playground where I used to push Ethan on the swings, and he would shout that I was the best mom in the world. Somewhere along the way, that little boy had turned into a 34-year-old man who saw me only as a resource. At the bank, I canceled every automatic transfer. The manager, Mr. Harper, looked stunned. He had watched my account shrink month after month. "Are you sure, Mrs. Thompson?" he asked gently. "Something happened." "I finally woke up," I told him. And I want my accounts locked so no one else can ever touch them again. When I got home, 3 cars were parked in my driveway. Ethan's, Olivia's, and a sleek black one I didn't recognize. Through the window, I saw movement inside my house. They still had keys. I had given them keys because I trusted them to take care of me one day the way I had taken care of them. I took a deep breath and opened my own front door. Ethan sat on my sofa with his head in his hands. Olivia paced like a trapped animal. A man in a gray suit was flipping through my personal papers on my dining table. "What is going on here?" I asked, voice steady. Olivia spun around, eyes wide with fake relief. "Margaret, thank God. We need to talk. This is Mr. Caldwell from the law firm. He's helping us with your situation." "My situation?" Ethan lifted his head, eyes pleading the way they used to when he was 10 and wanted a new bike. "Mom, you canceled the transfers, blocked us from the accounts. We're worried about you. Your behavior has been strange." Mr. Caldwell stood, offering a professional smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Mrs. Thompson, your children are concerned about your mental capacity. They've asked me to evaluate the situation." I didn't shake his hand. I walked straight to the table, gathered every document he had been touching, and said, "These are my private papers. You have no right to them." What followed was the most insulting performance I had ever witnessed. Olivia crying about how much she loved me like a mother. Ethan claiming they only wanted to help me manage things. Mr. Caldwell sliding a power of attorney form across the table like it was a casual favor. I looked at all 3 of them and felt something snap into place. "Get out of my house," I said quietly. "All of you right now." They tried everything, threats about bills I had co-signed, guilt about leaving them stranded, even Olivia's dramatic tears. I pointed at the door until they left. That night I didn't sleep. I lay awake planning. The next morning I changed every lock, installed cameras, opened a new account at a different bank, and hired my own attorney, Mr. Bennett, who specialized in protecting seniors from financial abuse. The war had begun. Over the following weeks, they tried everything. They sent social services for a wellness check. They filed a petition in family court to have me declared mentally incompetent and appoint Ethan as guardian. They dragged in fake witnesses, twisted my every protective step into paranoia. But I was ready. My sister Linda flew in to testify. My new neighbors, kind women who had become real friends, stood up for me. My pharmacist explained how Olivia had tricked him into signing a false statement. My own psychiatrist, Dr. Ellis, presented ironclad proof that I was sharper at 72 than most people half my age. The judge took one look at the $52,300 ledger, the secret wedding photos, the recorded calls where they only contacted me when money was due, and ruled in less than 2 hours. Petition denied, case dismissed, restraining order granted. When I walked out of that courtroom, Ethan and Olivia were standing in the hallway looking like someone had stolen their future. Olivia shot me a look of pure hatred. Ethan wouldn't even meet my eyes. I never spoke to them again. 3 months later, I sold the big empty house and bought a sunny little condo by the lake. I traveled to Italy with Linda. I took painting classes. I joined a book club. I donated a portion of what was left to a foundation that helps elderly people escape financial abuse. Some nights I sit on my balcony, look at the stars, and think about the woman I used to be, the one who believed love could be bought, the one who confused being needed with being loved. That woman is gone. In her place is someone who finally understands the most important truth I ever learned. I am special. And from now on, the only person I have to prove it to is myself.